Hey Sameer, here's my first question to you. Why do we need to diversify beyond India? Don't we have enough options available here already?
While India is loaded with good opportunities, I think there is a strong case for international investments as well. So, to begin with, we all know about FANG stocks, which represents Facebook, Amazon, Apple, Netflix, Google. In fact, FANG has now become Fangam, with the addition of Microsoft in the league. So these companies are global monopolies in their own domain and worth considering for investment. Besides them, there are many more opportunities or companies, I would say, which are worth considering for investment. Let me highlight some for you. Visa and MasterCard. I don't need to explain, they are like giants in electronic fund transfer. Activision Blizzard. So you must have heard about a video game called Call of Duty. So this company is the owner of that game, and I can tell you that video games have a very, very bright future ahead. Samsung, again, no introduction required. It is the second or almost as big a player as Apple. Adobe, that provides Adobe Acrobat, Photoshop, and Lightroom. Tesla, it's debatable but worth considering. Pepsi, Nike, and of late Zoom Video Communication. This is the company that helped all of us during lockdown to communicate with friends and clients. So today we are consumers of all these names, and the list can go on for another 100 or 200 companies, which are ruling the world. And if we are consuming their products and services, shouldn't we be exploring investments in them? So I think there is a big case to look beyond India. Although this should not undermine the opportunities available here, we just need to have a right balance.
Aren't these international investments riskier when compared to investing in domestic funds?
Well, I would say initially all unknowns look risky to us. It is our nature. That's why international equity also look risky to us. But I think it is a myth that we all have been carrying for so long now. The world stocks are no more or no less risky than Indian stocks. In fact, in many cases, they reduce the overall portfolio risk due to diversification. And another very important factor to consider is that the global markets are largely decoupled, which means that each economic zone has been performing in big divergence from each other. So, just to give some examples here, in 2019, US grew by 32%. Whereas China grew by 24%, India was the last at 8.5%. If we go back a couple of years, in 2017, China was number one with 42% growth, where India was second with 29% and US was at 12%. Whereas in 2014, India was first at 25%, China was 7% and US was like 14%. So, nobody is number one all the time, and that's why maybe you should have exposure into multiple buckets.
What kind of options are available if I wish to invest? I haven't heard of many.
You will be surprised to know that there are 43 schemes available in India which can help you take exposure to international markets. So there are index funds, actively managed funds, funds that focus on Japan only, or say US only, or Brazil or China funds, besides globally diversified funds. And there are funds for international real estate, gold miners fund, energy stocks fund, agri commodities, etc. So there is no dearth of options.
Well, most of the country have GDP rates far lower than India. Don't you think that these funds will deliver less return?
Well, this is another myth that needs to be busted. There is little correlation in a country's GDP and the stock performance if the company is global in nature and is innovative in products and operate in monopoly or oligopoly kind of environment. So let me give you 3 examples here, which are relevant in last 12 months. Greater China, which is an economic zone, has almost identical GDP growth rate like India. But the stock market performance over last 12 months has been 48.86% in absolute terms. This was despite that the coronavirus originated in China. Second example is World Gold Stocks, which are stock mining companies. This fund has delivered a 47% absolute performance over last 12 months. These companies are listed in US, Canada and South Africa. Their GDP rates are lower than India. Then Nasdaq 100 Index, which has delivered 43% over last 12 months. these companies operate worldwide, having revenue generation from across the world. So there may be some overvaluation in some pockets, but across, if we see the fundamentals are good, and these domains should be considered.
I don't have big chunks of money to invest. Can I still invest in international funds?
No big chunks are needed. You can invest the same way as you invest in any of the Indian funds. So it can be as measly as rupees 5,000.
What about taxation? Are they taxed differently than domestic oriented funds?
Well, their taxation depends upon what composition of their portfolio is built up of international stock. So if a particular scheme has only 30% international stocks, then it shall be taxed like an Indian equity scheme, which is the most tax efficient. On the other hand, a scheme with 100% exposure in international stocks shall be taxed like a debt scheme, which also is not bad if you have 3 years plus horizon of investment.
Thanks Samir and all our listeners. This sums up the topic. We will catch up with you soon with another topic of your choice.